Hi, welcome again to Triangle Day School. Thank you so much for coming this evening and joining us. You are the first time that we have started this Zoom webinar as a new family orientation. I hope you are all doing really well and that your families are healthy and staying safe. Again, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. We hope to keep it relatively short and have you all ready to join your families back at about 5:45. Of course, we wish we were on campus and eating ice cream and watching the children play on the new playground equipment. But as we all know, that will have to wait, but it'll be something to look forward to. Before the presentation starts, I would like to say just kind of a couple of reminders. First and foremost, please remember that I'm always available to help you transition to TDS. My job is not over from an admission standpoint. I like to make sure families are feeling welcome and transitioning and comfortable. If you ever have any questions, even after this evening, do not hesitate to call me, email me. I think a lot of you have my contact information. If not, my email is on the website. By now, you should all be receiving the weekly emails with the rest of the returning TDS families. If you are not, please let me know and I'll add your name to the list. Mary Stillman in the office, who's our office manager, asked me to remind you that the forms are due, health forms and et cetera, are due by the beginning of school, and you can either email them to her, scan and email them, or you can mail them, snail mail them, or you can later you could drop them off when the school's open. Hopefully that'll be late July, early August. Also, you should have received a long email from me about a week and a half ago with a bunch of reminders. One note was that you will all be matched with a mentor family. And those families will be contacting you in the next week or two. So please look forward to getting the email from someone from TDS. And then last but not least, as we move into the summer and learn what we can do, I'm hoping to host ideally an on-campus, gathering, but we'll wait and see how that works. But nonetheless, I will be in constant contact with you. You'll be getting periodic emails directly from me on what's coming and what to look forward to. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. And now I would like to give you to Doug Norrie, our head of school, and let him start the presentation. Thanks again.
Well, good evening, everyone. As Deb said, my name is Doug Nora, and I serve as head of school here. So for most of you, this journey began back in the fall. We've known you as interested families and applicant families, and then admitted families, and then enrolled families, and now, of course, as TDS families. So again, welcome, as Deb said. We appreciate your time this evening. We deeply appreciate the trust that you have placed in us by sharing with us your most prized possessions, which of course are your children. We really wish, as Deb said, that we could be together on campus. It's a beautiful day. That said, we are very excited for you to begin that 8 or 9 or possibly 10-year journey through TDS with us right now. So 2 months ago, when we returned from spring break, TDS pivoted to distance learning. Over the course of about 48 hours. And while our delivery has changed in the past 8 weeks, our mission and core values most certainly have not changed. Our teachers have been superheroes in continuing to connect with every child through morning meetings and small group lessons, and also individually in a one-on-one format. I mention this specific aspect of our distance learning because I think that relationships lie at the core of all that is accomplished at TDS. So first and foremost, we know your child. If you are a new first grade parent here with us, you might wonder why you're meeting Ms. Delatorre tonight, because she teaches TK. And it's because she will know your child. So will our 5th graders, so will our business manager. We'll know what they like, what they excel at, what gives them pause, and what challenges they need to overcome to continue their development. So in addition to knowing your child, at TDS, we value your child. All of our 245 children are unique. This is a diverse community in the broadest sense of the word. And it's also a place where everyone's talents and opinions matter. And then finally, we love your child. This might be harder to express as we phase out hugging, at least for the time being, but I can assure you that your children will feel this love and this warmth. And within this nurturing climate, they'll feel a certain freedom to be who they are. And then hopefully with that, they'll discover all that they can be. So I just want to say briefly, it's not just your children that are beginning their journeys at TDS. I think parents also report feeling this warmth, and we certainly have some current parents with us where additional children are joining. And there are also lots of ways, and you'll learn about lots of ways for you as parents to become involved in the TDS community. I know that there are a lot of questions about the fall and what that's going to look like. And I think the one thing that we know right now is there's a great degree of uncertainty. So if you find anyone with definite answers to those questions, I don't believe that you can necessarily believe those responses. With everything continuing to change as rapidly as it is, I just want to tell you what I can tell you. Number one, we remain focused on the health and safety of our community. We now have a task force that meets regularly to scenario plan and just think about what the space looks like and what can be accomplished. Number two, we will place a priority on in-person learning throughout the school year, when we can. Along those lines, we're developing a flexible calendar. We have moved up the potential first day of school to Wednesday, August 19th, in order to maximize potentially our in-person school. And then number three, if we do need to shift to distance learning at some points next year, we will be even better prepared than we were this spring. And our faculty are engaged in a good amount of work this summer when it comes to honing our distance learning program. All that being said, we cannot wait to welcome your students to TDS and our campus in the fall. So again, welcome. I did want to mention that two of the people that you'll hear from tonight are new, or at least in a new role. And the first is someone you'll hear a little bit later. That is Casey Villarreal, who is our new counselor. And the next is the person that you're going to hear right now, and that is Natalie Dittmore, our new lower school director. So I'm going to turn things over to Natalie.
Hi all, good evening. Thank you for taking the time. I am current TDS teacher transitioning to lower school director. So I'm looking forward to helping our TK through 5th grade thrive. I often say that there's this unidentifiable quality that buzzes around our lower school hallways. It's not tangible, but you definitely feel it each day. Some examples are feeling it in the gasps and cheers of a science experiment happening in Dr. Nelson's lab, or in the sticky smiling faces at fall carnival, the wide eyes during field trips, the suspenseful silences when a chapter book ends on a cliffhanger, the screams that erupt during our staff versus student basketball and volleyball games. I think that while academics are the primary purpose of a school, and while I think that we truly excel in that area, our lower school teachers provide a robust experience that goes far, far beyond our core subjects. We take adventures, we take risks, we laugh a lot, we get our hands dirty and sometimes our clothes, and we truly live outside the box. All of our teachers are deeply, deeply dedicated to our craft and to our school's mission, and you really see that day in and day out, and when the immense amount of work that they put into all that they do. And I think namely you see that in the way that our school's core values are really meaningfully and intentionally woven into the things that our teachers do. When there's a scuffle on the playground, we take a minute to pause to discuss compassion and respect for one another. When a teacher hears the word can't, they take that opportunity to stop and discuss the meaning of and importance of resilience. Our teachers really do lead by example, and they work intentionally and actively to inspire these core values into all of our students. We really like to emphasize the importance of family partnership in our lower school, and we really encourage you to be a part of your children's education. Not only you, but your greater family community. So our Grandparents and Special Friends Day each November brings visitors from far and wide and is quite an operation just to give the student community a glimpse into a day in the life at TDS. Our international festival that we hold every year invites school families to share about their heritage and is a way for us to celebrate the diverse population of our school. Each year we have parents giving career presentations. We have parents involved in talent show acts, whether they like it or not. We have teachers volunteering in the classroom. So I just want to emphasize that this really is a community of and for our families just as much as it is for our students. I know that there's a fair amount of uncertainty looking into next year, so I just want to end by emphasizing that our lower school teachers are already working and planning ways to build meaningful connections with new students and with new families. And this is something that's always a priority of ours, but it's something that's more important now than ever. And so that's something that you will be hearing from this summer. So don't think that you'll be jumping in blind in the fall. You will be hearing from your child's teacher over the summer. We are really looking forward to welcoming you all and with partnering with you on hopefully your new journey at TDS. And with that, I will send you off to our amazing TK teacher, Rose.
Sorry. Of course, I had to have the huge glitch. Sorry. Welcome, everyone. I am Rose Delatorre. I've been teaching transitional kindergarten at TDS since it started, and I'm not just a teacher. I'm also an alumni parent of 2 high school students who are alumni from TDS. I'd like to share with you what you can expect from an exiting TK student. We like to begin with the end in mind, so this would be what a TK student would be able to accomplish once they've finished TK. They are able to navigate within a classroom, gathering materials and replacing them as needed. They are able to listen attentively for periods of time, work independently on simple tasks, work with others in small groups, follow directions, and share with others. They are also able to recognize letters and sounds. They are they're able to represent numbers and understand their value. And they are also familiar with the 5 core values at TDS, which you've heard about: respect, responsibility, resilience, integrity, and compassion. They will be able to display concrete examples verbally and through their actions at school. Our whole name really means everything. Transitional Kindergarten. What can you expect in TK? Our name says it all. It's a time for transitions, and we transition kids from home to school by increasing their independence daily. Every day, students will unpack their belongings, gather materials, clean up after themselves, use manners during snack and lunch. They will learn to sort their waste as either compost, recycling, or trash, and they will be called upon to work on different jobs every week. The day tends to move in 30-minute blocks, which include classroom instruction, complement classes, recess, snack, lunch, free playtime, and a 45-minute rest period. And believe me, that first week, everyone is tired. Some things that you might be able to prepare for TK, it's not a lot. We would just like to have children be able to handle themselves independently in the restroom and dress themselves minimally, like putting on socks and shoes just in case they take them off to go in a sandbox. There is no requirement for familiarity with letters or numbers. That's our job. So that's what you could expect from TK, and I'm going to hand it off to Jordan Qualls in kindergarten.
Hello, my name is Jordan Qualls. This will be my 4th year teaching kindergarten at TDS. And some of the things that you can expect from kindergarten is we do a continuum from our TK, but we do also understand that there are some students who come to us who have not had the opportunity to have Rose as their amazing TK teacher. So we do a lot of bridging the gap in the beginning of the year to make sure that our students who are coming from TK and our students who are coming from other schools, maybe students who have not been in a school setting yet before kindergarten, we try to get them all on the same page. One of the ways that we do that is through small group instruction in kindergarten. We have so many opportunities to have small group in kindergarten. One of those ways is in our reading groups. Some of our students come to us already knowing their letters, some come to us already reading, some come to us not knowing any letters or any sounds yet, and that's okay. And we appreciate that, and we understand that all 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds come to us with different abilities. So we have learning specialists that you'll hear from as well, and they come into our classrooms and they help with our small group reading. So at any given moment when we are doing reading instruction, you may see 2 to 3 adults in the classroom, and we have students in groups of 3 or 4, and they're working on activities that we are doing to meet their needs. So some may be working on letter sounds, while other students are already working on comprehension and understanding the text more deeply. So just a day in kindergarten, on a normal day when we're on campus, we start with a morning meeting where we acknowledge everybody in our classroom. We say good morning to everyone. After that, we usually do our reading, excuse me, in the morning. And then we'll have a brain break. We do a lot of exercises. We do Go Noodles. I don't know if any of you have heard of those, but that's something that's been really helpful also in distance learning, even with students at home doing brain breaks with Go Noodle. And then after that, we usually have our compliments classes where they'll break off and have some more brain breaks that way. After that, we have recess, we have lunch. We also have a 30-minute rest time in kindergarten. And then we usually do math in the afternoons, where we also have, at any given time, we have 3 different math groups going, depending on each child's abilities, what they're capable of at that point at the school year. And then something else that we do a lot of in kindergarten is STEM projects and problem solving. So we're working on academics, but we're also working on what it means to be a kind friend, what it means to problem solve with your group. And the way that we do STEM activities in kindergarten is that we give a problem. So for example, let's build a community that can fit, let's say like 30 people. And so they have a little bit of a challenge. The first thing that they would have to do in their group is to come up with an idea that everybody agrees on together. That's the first step before they can get any materials. Then they get their materials and they have to figure out how they're going to use those materials together, because there's, only a certain amount for this whole group of students to use. So they are talking through these things and working on problem solving together. That's something that we also do in kindergarten. We start early mindfulness, and we do that by having a space in our classroom that students can go to when they're feeling frustrated. A lot of our students use that in the beginning of the year when we start asking them to be more independent with their schoolwork. There's a space in our classroom. There's a teddy bear. There's a mindfulness jar that they can shake. It has glitter and different things in it that they can shake and work on calming their bodies down. We work on talking about these feelings and talking about how to solve these problems. And then one other thing that we like to get our students to work on before the end of the school year is independence in all of their activities. So not just academics, but independence in opening their milks at lunch, independence in zipping their backpacks after they have packed up. These are things that they seem like little when there's only one student, but when you have 10 students in a classroom and they all need help, that makes a big difference. So that's something that we also work on in order to get them ready for first grade. And so with that, I'm going to pass it off to our first grade teacher, Mrs. Beyer.
Hey everybody, I'm Julie Beyer. I'm one of the first grade teachers at TDS. First grade is similar to kindergarten in a lot of ways, but we build on all of the skills that they learn in kindergarten or their first year of school. So in first grade, you can expect to see a huge growth academically, socially. They start making much stronger connections with their friends. They're going to be expected to do a lot more academic work independently. We do also have specialist teachers that come in and work with first graders, similar to kindergarten. Kindergarten does have an additional assistant that helps throughout the day, which first grade doesn't always have. So we do expect first graders to be able to work on math, reading, writing activities, up to 5 to 10 minutes, independently, and then we keep building on that throughout the year. You can expect students to be adding and subtracting fluently, numbers up to 20 by the end of the year. Many first graders will be reading chapter books by the end of the year. We really try to instill a love of reading in first grade. We do a lot of learning, most of our learning in small groups. We do a lot of individualized learning, same as kindergarten. So we really meet the students where they are. We may have some students reading on a third grade level and some that are still working on letter sounds, and all of that is great and fine. And we have resources to help all of those students. So we really pride ourselves on that. We also do mindfulness activities. We do a lot of working on emotional self-regulation. We work a lot with conflict resolution with peers and being able to do that independently. So if there's an argument on the playground or something like that, they have the language to be able to solve those problems on their own in first grade rather than coming to a teacher right away. They should know in first grade how to recognize the school's core values and be able to see when other students are demonstrating those and using the language to communicate with others. So first grade seems like a lot, but the kids are up for it, and they always seem to really love the extra challenges that we do in first grade. We do math, reading, writing, social studies, and science. And then they also go to at least 2 complements classes a day. We have lunch and recess outside if weather permits. And then we also have at least an extra 15 minutes of movement time as an extra break. So that's usually outside or inside playing games, like a free choice. So there are lots of learning breaks throughout the day. First graders still need to move their bodies and to have some time to rest as well. So although the academics are a little more rigorous, there is still lots of time for fun. So with all that being said, if you guys have any questions, any rising first grade parents have any extra questions, I think we'll get to those at the end. But for now, I'll pass it off to our counselor, Casey Villarreal.
Make sure that works. Thank you so much, Julie. Hi, everybody. My name is Casey Villarreal, and I will be the new school counselor at TDS. You and your kids can call me Miss V. I'm totally fine to go by that name. This will be my 8th year as a school counselor, but my first year at TDS, so I'm new like the majority of you. I moved down here about 8 years ago from Massachusetts to get my master's in school counseling from UNC Chapel Hill. And so far I've worked my whole career at a public elementary school in Burlington, North Carolina. So this will be my first year at an independent school and working with pre-K students as well as our older middle school students. So I'm really excited about that. I actually personally think I probably have the coolest job in the school because I get to work with the whole spectrum. Some of my services include, but are not limited to, small group counseling, classroom guidance lessons, and individual counseling sessions as well. Some of my specialties in my counseling practice include behavior management, trauma-informed counseling, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as play therapy. And I use a lot of data to drive my program, as well as teacher and parent and student input. I think now more than ever, considering the world that we're currently living in, we have to be sensitive to the social emotional wellness of our kids. And I want all of you to know as parents that I'm here to love your child, take care of their needs, and just be a support system across the board. I'm very excited to be a new member of the TDS family. And while the future is unpredictable, I think it's going to be a great year. So thank you very much, and I'm going to pass the baton over to Jenny Howell.
Hello. My role at TDS as the literacy specialist is to guide the literacy curriculum and make balanced decisions in literacy. And by that I mean are both have phonics and skills based, but yet also develop the craft and the love of literacy, as Julie was talking about. I support teachers in their literacy planning and instruction. So I may be in your child's classroom assisting their teacher or working with a small group in their class. I have a classroom as well, so children come and read with me. I'm in kindergarten classrooms and first grade classrooms a lot. And then I'm also available to you to answer any questions about literacy development. And my colleague Jen Phillips also works with me in some of the classrooms.
Hi there, I'm Jen Phillips, and I am thrilled to serve as TDS's library teacher, and as Jenny was saying, also as a literacy specialist for some of the primary classes. I look forward every year, especially thinking of the new kids coming in. I look forward to helping them become enthusiastic readers and continuing to support their developing literacy. our broad goals in the library are to foster and further a love of reading and to teach students how to navigate and find information. So when classes come to the library, which is once or twice a week, one of the main things that we do is just really enjoy books together, enjoy reading them, enjoy talking about them, and I enjoy helping them find the books that they're looking for. I also am available to families. I hope that you will use me as a resource and contact me for suggestions for books on topics to help out with dealing with difficult situations or on specific reading levels that your children are on. I try to steer students to making the just right choices, and at times the interests, they like to come to me and ask me to help them find a book based on another book. So that's one of the things I love doing. And as Jenny mentioned, in addition to my work as the school librarian, you might hear about me coming into your children's classrooms to work with small groups on guided reading, or sometimes working one-on-one with students that need a little extra support, or even a push up or a challenge in reading. So I look forward to meeting all of you, and thank you. I'm going to pass it on to Maria Morrison.
Hi, everyone. Like Jen said, I'm Maria Morrison, and this is my 12th. Next year is going to be my 12th year at TDS, and I am the after-school program director. And our after-school program is an extension of the school day, and we have a snack, we have outside time, we have many activities for our kids to do. We have after-school counselors. We have a schedule throughout the afternoon. It may involve playground, cooking in the kitchen, art, any types of crafts that we do, reading, a bunch of different things to offer during that during those after school hours, which are from 3 to 6. And the information for after school there, it'll go out over the summer with all the other information that you'll receive about your classrooms and from your classroom teachers. And there's options to contract or to sign up for after school in that way, or if you just think that you may need it occasionally, we always welcome students to join any day that you may need to use after school. So just know that our after school program is an option for you at any time throughout the year. And I think I'm going to send it over to, I'm going to open it up for questions, and Doug Nori is going to help us moderate those.
So do we have questions out there? We are using this particular feature of Zoom for the first time, so thank you for helping us grow. And I believe Emma, our wizard behind the panel, is enabling everyone to chime in if anyone wishes to.
I have a question. Can y'all hear me?
We can.
Can you just remind us where we need to get those health forms that Mary Stillman's going to want to collect?
In terms of where the forms are, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Or what specific form is needed?
Right. I believe they are on TADS, but
Okay.
Maria's shaking her head. Maria, you can answer here.
Yeah, no, the health forms, they are on TADS. Mm-hmm. And they can be uploaded directly into TADS, or like Deb said at the beginning, you can email, or you can mail them in if needed, or drop them off, but they can be uploaded directly.
Okay, thank you.
Julie.
May I add one more thing, Julie? If any of you are having trouble getting any of those forms, just shoot me an email and I will make sure I attach it and send it to you directly. So don't ever worry about just, contacting me. I'll get it to you.
Great, thank you.
Other questions out there? I'm sure they're out there.
Hi, I see a chat question from Andrea about a day in the life of distance learning for kindergarten. I can tell you a bit about what we've been doing so far this school year with distance learning. Each morning, one of the kindergarten teachers posts a video that has a question of the day, and then students are able to answer that question in video form and then resubmit that to us. And there's a folder where they can see the answers from their peers as well. So we kind of start our day with that. And then we'll post daily activities. We post reading, math, writing activities each day. And those can be done when it's convenient for our students. We understand that we still have parents who are working who can't be online all day long with us. And we have some who are with other family members during the day. So we don't have a specific time frame when these things need to be finished. We ask that they be done at least one activity each day by the end of the week so that we can see that your child was active for that day. So those can be done independently. And then we also have times that we meet for guided reading. And we've been doing that depending on your child's reading level. We've been doing that either one-on-one or with a small group. And normally our groups for online learning have been 2 to 3 students at a time. So most of the work has been asynchronous, meaning that it's just something that we post and then you get that done at your leisure, at your convenience. And then there are some parts that are synchronous where we meet together. We've also had times for just social meets where students can log on and just kind of talk, because that's what they all want to do at this point. Even when we have our reading groups, they sign on and they just want to say, guess what I did this weekend? And, we're just all kind of missing that face-to-face part. So we have times that they can log on and just talk to us as well.
Okay, I'm seeing a question.
So Rose, are you able to see that question?
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Okay.
Can I go ahead and answer that? So the TK classroom, we do have 45 minutes of rest. And some of them do sleep. They sleep continuously. And if they need more sleep, we let them continue to sleep depending on what the next following activity is. We have mats and we provide them with blankets and we play music. So it is a nice time to rest and gather your thoughts. Some of them sleep, not all of them. It's just a quiet time. And we find that everyone, respects the quiet. We let them know you can rest, but you need to let others rest too.
And Rose, when during the day does that occur?
It happens every day at 12:30 until 1:15.
Okay.
One of the questions, if I may answer that came in, I asked for questions ahead of time, had to do with directory available. And we will have that all updated and on the website. There's a lot that you will learn that you will have access to in the parent portal on the website. Right now, since we're still kind of finishing this school year, it's not updated, but I will be informing all of you of how to access it, what's there. In addition to a directory, I even think there's a little map that gives you an idea of where families are located for carpooling or for et cetera. So I hope that answers that question. Anybody else have any other questions? Sorry, Rose, go ahead.
I see that I have a question from Amanda Sanders about TK distance learning. Or was that part of the K?
No, I think that's for TK. And let me, I'll just say one thing kind of in between Jordan's response and Rose's response, which is, and I think we've been doing a great job with this, particularly in the younger grades. I also just want to caution everyone to know that, what we pivot to in the fall, if necessary, is likely going to have some similarities and also some differences from what we're doing now, because we'll have the luxury of more time to sort of figure out what's going to work best, and also do some front-end communication with families to determine, times of day and things like that. So, whereas it was a mad scramble this year, to be honest, to turn us into a distance learning platform overnight. We are looking at many things over the summer to be much more intentional about what that looks like. So sorry, Rose, go for it.
Okay. So yes, in TK, we, similar to kindergarten, we have posted assignments because we know that parents have a schedule of their own to juggle. So there are a variety of assignments posted. It's tending to mirror what we used to do in class. So we have a morning message. We have assignments for a read aloud so they can listen to a story. We'll have some kind of a math assignment, which can be an activity that they complete within the home. Sometimes, very rarely, it's a worksheet, but more often it is like, go make some patterns in your house and take a picture, show it to us. We also have synchronous meets with the children every day. We meet with them for about a half hour is what we have seen their attention span can last. So we talk to them, engage them, try to do as much of our routine as we can, and sing little songs that they remember, which that really gives them, and for some reason they can sing them better in Spanish than in English. So we do that with them. And they have an opportunity to hear stories from Mr. Nori. He reads to them twice a week, and they meet with complement teachers daily. It's a different teacher every day of the week.
Deb, I'm not sure if you could, oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I don't know if you can see this question that I see. I don't know if it was directed to just me, but there's a question, how many kindergarten students will there be next year? And how many are new students?
Yes. Oh, geez. Good question about how many are new. I would say that it's about half and half, a little bit more returning TK, but I anticipate somewhere in the range of no more than 12 in a classroom next year. So that's probably where we'll be. And as I said, a little less than half are coming from our own TK. No, I'm wrong about that. More than half are coming from our TK class. Sorry, I don't have the exact numbers. I will add, as far as new versus old, I will add though that I am looking into ways to help transition. I'm praying with all that I have that we will be on campus and we will be able to, you'll be able to meet your teachers. But we are looking at ways to, help you get your child get to know their teacher before school starts if we have to continue with some kind of distance learning.
Can I just piggyback on that answer really quick too?
Please.
I know that, I don't know if this is why the question was presented today, but I know some students or some parents with students who are coming not from the TK sometimes worry about making friends at the beginning of the year. And so that's something that we have a lot of conversations about in the beginning of kindergarten. We talk about that we're all friends in our classroom. We talk about including friends in every activity. In the past years, we have had usually half and half, students who've come from TK and students who have not. And it's usually helpful for the TK students. They usually pair up with a student who hasn't been at our school before, and they'll, guide them through our day, guide them through the different parts of our campus. And it's really fun to watch them just be friends to everybody. And we have lots of, like I said, lots of conversations in the beginning of the year about what it means to be a kind friend and just being friends to everyone.
So let me ask, Julie, you asked if we are looking at half-day scenarios. Yeah, I'm probably gonna kind of punt on answering that one and just say that, we're gonna roll out our plans likely in, early July, late June. And even then they're gonna be subject to change. But the easiest answer to your question right now is we're doing a variety of scenario planning, and we're not, I don't think we've dismissed any option. Our goal, if we can be in school, is to be in school safely for the maximum number of kids that we can. That will depend on the stipulations that come from the CDC. It'll depend on regulations that come from the local departments of health and human services, both state and also locally. It will depend on what the public schools are doing and also what our peer schools are doing. And when I said earlier that, the word of the day is uncertainty, that's what I was referring to. So we are aggressively looking at all of our spaces, both indoor and outdoor, and thinking about how to use those in ways that we have not used them before, particularly because it does not look like we will be having big group gatherings, at least not in the fall. So with that, spaces that our current parents know as large open spaces where we might hold a lower school meeting, we are looking at, again, reconfiguring things to make sure that we can, again, deliver our mission and core values in our educational program in a way that is, coordinates well with safety regulations. And, beyond what that looks like, it's almost a little, it's just too much to sort of speculate because we don't necessarily know yet what those regulations will be. Current parents have heard me say that, it will not look the same in the fall. And I think it's important to manage everyone's expectations when it comes to that. And that's true. That'll be true at TDS, and that'll be true at every school, really across America. So, I think, we all wish that it's going to look just like it has. And we've got a lot of conversations to happen as a staff and faculty, and also with our parents between now and then. So good question, and probably more than maybe you wanted in return, but I think it's important. It looks like, well, let's see, any other questions, either live or via chat? Well, in that case, it is 5:45, and I think Deb promised 45 minutes, so she can predict the future. So she's the one that we need to go to for answers. But on behalf of all of us tonight, again, let's just finish where we started and saying welcome to TDS. We're so glad that you joined us. We're sorry this couldn't have been in person, but certainly we will get something out to you with all of our contact information. So if you have a specific question that's TK related or first grade related or kindergarten related, or for Deb, we will send you all of our contact information, and don't hesitate to ask, and we'll get back to you soon. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.